is complicating your efforts here?
Well, ultimately, I've talked to the president, to Wilbur Ross, to the vice president, and others about the fact that the best way for them and other manufacturers and farmers to succeed in the state is to have happen what the president himself said at the G7. He said to the European Union and other officials, that is, get to know tariffs.
All right, well, Governor Scott Walker, who is running for re-election in Wisconsin, is facing a tough line there because the president, of course, is pushing a boycott, thinks that the people are keen on that, Harley-Davidson, to punish it for wanting to ship jobs overseas, so be it. Obviously, the governor hopes that cooler heads will prevail and won't be necessary. With us right now, Republican Senate candidate from that fine state, Leah Vukmir, joins me right now. Fair and balanced, we did call her opponent, Senator Tammy Baldwin, the Democrat. Her office offered to get back to us, so we're still waiting to hear from them. All right, Leah, very good to have you. Thank you for taking the time. Do you have an issue with the President of the United States saying, go ahead, boycott Harley-Davidson for this move? Could mean a lot of jobs lost in your state if that does ultimately prevail.
Well, I believe Harley-Davidson is a point of pride not only for Wisconsin but our nation, and I trust they're going to stay here. And I think that, as the governor said, the best way to keep Harley here is to get to a point where we don't have tariffs, and that's what the president is trying to accomplish here. I've put on over 82,000 miles on my car in this campaign, and I spent a lot of time talking to farmers, and I've been talking to manufacturers, and they want access to more markets. They realize they're not getting a fair shake, and they're willing to give this president some time to negotiate fairer deals. You know, I'm a free market person, but I believe in fair markets, and I believe that's where the president's heart is as well. He's trying to do the best for America.
Do you think there's something to what the president says, though, that maybe Harley-Davidson is using this as an excuse, the trade thing, on prearranged plans to ship jobs overseas anyway? In other words, that they're schnookering all of you guys.
No, I think that, you know, Harley knows that they're so well known here, and they do take pride in being a part of our landscape here. And I'm going to give it some time, and I'm going to trust the president and his negotiations. That's what he's known for, the great negotiator.
Well, they take pride in doing business here, and just on the threat of tariffs that haven't even materialized, they're bolting. It does seem weird, doesn't it?
Well, it may be. We'll have to play it out. I really do believe, though, that as I've talked to so many people, and again, the farmers in particular, I'm amazed at the extent to which everywhere I go, I've been going to a lot of county fairs and state fair, and they are willing to give this president some time, and I am too, because I do believe that he's making a difference. We've seen that we've already brought the EU to the table. Now, if we negotiate with our friends of Canada and Mexico, we present an even greater block as we look at the country that is the worst actor of all, and that's China. And I think that's where we see the strength of the president's negotiating, and we need to give it some time. We need to give the process some time.
Are you surprised that we might, sooner than maybe a lot of people give the president credit for, have a deal on NAFTA with the Mexicans, even though for the time being it will not involve the Canadians? In fact, we're to learn this past week, as you know, that the president hasn't even been talking to them in a while. What do you think?
Well, I think it just shows that his commitment to creating better deals and putting America first. And this is what you've always known about this president. That's what people love about this president. And if he can negotiate deals with one country at a time, then so be it. And I think that just shows the strength of his ability and his commitment. And I think it is something that, as we move forward, is going to make a huge difference in the grand scheme of tariffs in general.
But Canada's your biggest trading partner in Wisconsin.
Pardon?
Canada's your biggest trading partner in Wisconsin.
Yes, and we're not getting a fair deal. Look at our dairy farmers right now. We have a 275% tariff on our dairy products. So I'm very aware of that. Our farmers are very aware of it, and the president's aware of it, and he's talked about it. I spoke with him just this past week when he called to congratulate me on my win, and we did spend a lot of time talking about tariffs. He was very interested. He wanted to know what I'd been hearing on the campaign trail. And so I think that we've got to give it a little bit more time, and I'm confident, and clearly the people who are most impacted by this are confident at this point as well.
All right. In that phone call, did the president say he would campaign on your behalf? Do you want him to?
Yes, he did offer to come to Wisconsin. I would love for him to come to Wisconsin. He's very well loved here in our state. You know, people like the fact that we have a leader who is following through on his promises, much as we have done here in Wisconsin as a member of the Wisconsin legislature, standing alongside Governor Walker as we broke the stranglehold of public sector unions. We turned our economy around. He knows that he needs strong conservative allies in that U.S. Senate to help follow through, and that's why I'm running, and that's why our message resonated across the state. And it's going to be a very stark contrast to Tammy Baldwin, who most people can't mention one thing that she has done. And in fact, she stands with the far extreme left of the party. She is campaigning with Senator Gillibrand in the Hamptons this weekend. And someone who wants to abolish ICE, Senator Gillibrand, has said she is not afraid to stand with Bernie Sanders, who calls himself an avowed socialist. And she campaigned in our state with him, calling for single-payer government-run health care. I'm a nurse. I continue to work in the field of health care. I look forward to debating her on the differences between free market health care and government-run health